This is the system. It's way beyond Stasi, East Germany, way beyond that. And it'd be the socialist dream for Soviet Russia if they'd had it then, because they had to use spies for everything, basically, and hire ordinary folk to spy on neighbors, etc. So this is to get all your data in one system. And that's a tremendous power to have. Tremendous power, folks. Also this ad 2 from the National Law Review. It says, Brain Spray and the Law. It's quite an interesting article. Now that we can capture and use the signals emitted by human brains, which they can actually, it says we should consider whether brain signals are public property. If your face and voice become available to the public through use, it's the same true for your thoughts when they can be read by others. Several recent news items have illustrated the progress humans have made in understanding the brain's workings and harnessing an active brain for practical purposes. For example, this week's Duke University researcher Miguel Nicolillis used microchips and the internet to connect the brains of 2 mice on different continents so that the thoughts of one can influence the actions of the other. Much of Dr. Nicolillis' work involved creating an exoskeleton that a paralyzed person could operate with brain signals. They always say it's going to be used initially to help people with paralysis and so on. It's from the military-industrial complex is behind everything, folks. It's always weaponry first. Similarly, University of Pittsburgh researcher Andrew Schwartz has been working since 2006 to find ways for a person to control a robotic arm with only brain signals. In February 2013, surgeons implanted 4 microchips in a paralyzed patient's brain that translate her brain feelings or signals into movements in robotic equipment. 60 Minutes and ABC News showed a video of the Pittsburgh patient feeding herself ice cream through brain signals to a robotic arm. Such scientific work involved detecting brain signals seems like science fiction, but the technology is available right now and will only improve over time and soon will be available commercially. Right now, the most rudimentary brain-driven technology can be purchased. High-end toy emporium Hamisher and Schlemmer sells a telekinetic obstacle course, is called, that uses focused brain waves to maneuver a ball through an obstacle course. The game comes with a headband to read your brain signals and then wirelessly transmit those signals to the game's air fan, which increases or decreases speed depending on your signal. And it blows a foam ball around an obstacle course. And this is Australian scientist and entrepreneur Tan Lee, the founder of Emotive Life Science, has created a headset that serves as an interface for reading the wearer's brainwaves, making it possible to control virtual and physical objects with directed thoughts. Eventually, the headsets will be conditioned for diagnostic use, but current products using the brain interface headset for video games, allowing users to drive virtual race cars with their concentrated thoughts. So it comes down to, once this is there for access, and you won't even know they're being accessed half the time, or most of the time perhaps, who owns your thoughts? Who owns your thoughts, folks? Think about it. Can you imagine having a patent, you're sitting daydreaming about the patent and the diagrams and so on, and it's stolen from you. You could never prove it. I can see that will be one use that will be used right away. But I'll put this link up tonight just to let you see too. Plus, it says, is Google planning a microchip for people's brains? This is another article. The engineering boss at Internet Giant says sci-fi style technology will begin by helping disabled people control wheelchairs. Again, the usual rubbish that remember DARPA was doing it too. DARPA makes weapons to kill folk. And they said they were going to help people with paraplegic conditions. So it says, it faces a major backlash over claims it colluded with U.S. authorities to open a backdoor to users' personal information. So these guys, you can really trust Google, right? But it nevertheless intends to leverage the wealth of data it holds on people to offer them increasingly personalized search results. The ultimate ambition is to get inside users' heads with microchips that will download search results straight into their brains. And it says online advertising giant Google's new wearable accessories are merely a stepping stone to its ultimate ambition, which is a microchip which can be embedded in the brain. The company, which uses its search, email, and other services to funnel personalized advertising to users, is currently trialing prototypes of its called as a glass device, which is worn like a pair of glasses. But Google is staking its future in a new service which will use the information it holds on registered users to automatically predict their search needs and present them with the data they want. The ultimate ambition is to literally get inside the users' heads using search queries to read their thoughts and then fulfilling the data needs by sending results directly to microchips implanted into people's brains. As is Ben Gomes, Google's vice president of search, told The Independent that the sinister-sounding vision is far from a sci-fi fantasy and that research had already begun with such chips to help disabled people steer their wheelchairs. They're getting a few senses of direction with the wheelchair, but getting from there to actual words is a long way off, he said. We have to do this in the brain a lot better to make that interaction possible. We have patience for that to happen, but the pieces of technology have to develop. So they are working on this whole thing very, very fast, and I wouldn't be surprised at a high level they've actually got it already. I'm pretty sure they will have, because they never disclose to the general public what they actually have. Also, you find that everything out there really is to collect data on you or alter your behavior or whatever else. But it says Netflix, aside from delivering streaming video to consumers, also wants to provide open source software, Netflix OSS, to tech vendors. Netflix, in its quest to fill gaps in Amazon Web Services, has come up with more than a dozen tools, including the popular Chaos Monkey for testing web application resiliency. And now Netflix OSS has got a pretty big fish on the line, IBM. Now IBM, with the big masters of the world, were given the sole right to go across the world to set up the smart grid worldwide. Smart meters and so on, everything smart business, you name it. And no one, it's never gone to, again, any kind of vote from the general population for any of this to be done. It's done way above government level, because what runs the world is not government. The government is there to rubber stamp what the big corporations push forward. And that's well understood amongst those in government too. But anyway, that they're teaming up, as I say, with IBM. Now, when IBM has its different meetings throughout the year, you'll find every international corporation that anybody attends, they must attend IBM. They're the big guys for all of this. But this article goes into IBM, its relationship with cloud and all the rest of it, and how they collect lots and lots and lots of data. It's just never ending, actually. And this article here, it says too, it goes on with it too, it says multiple profiles are coming to your Netflix account. And it says, multiple users may soon be able to use the most of the same Netflix account by way of numerous Facebook logins and the same subscription. So there's the carrot. That's the dream of Netflix chief product officer and so on. One of the benefits of Netflix is its recommendations engine, which offers supreme personalized genre selections based on how you've rated other films. And it says, but if you're sharing an account with the rest of your household, these could become diluted quickly by your cohabitants' personal, some might say terrible tastes. But the whole idea is to find out who else is in all this data. And they're going into, I think they're actually making a deal with Facebook as well. So they get all your data about you. It's another personality profiling idea, who your friends are, why they like the same movies, and that helps them tell a lot about the people involved who are watching this kind of stuff, etc., and who their friends are. So it's more collection of data on individuals. And also this article too says new microelectrode brain chip detects neuronal activity and unprecedented high resolution. Researchers of the Department of Biosystems Science and Engineering of ETH Zurich were able to measure the speed of neuronal signal conduction along segments of single axons in neuronal cultures by using high-resolution electrical methods. The bioengineers are now searching for plausible explanations for the large conduction speed variations. And to write a little piece of text, it says the brain sends commands to arms and fingers to tap on the keyboard. Neuronal cells with their cable-like extensions, such as axons, transfer this information as electrical impulses that trigger the muscles to move. The axonal signal speed can be up to 100 megabits a second, in myelinated axons along the spinal cord. For a long time, scientists assumed that axonal signal conduction is by and large digital. Either there's a signal or there is no signal. It's 1 or a 0. So this goes into, again, where it's all going to, as they go ahead, rushing ahead, trying to get this brain chip all perfected for everyone to have, you understand. And all you have to get is some celebrity to say, some really popular celebrity in vogue, to say that they've got one and the rest will flood to it. They might even give it snob appeal, platinum model, gold model, down to bronze,